If you're confused about which form you should use to apply for your USA passport, I don't blame you. That's because there are three main forms that we use. That's the DS11, the DS5504, and the DS82. First, let's start with the passport application that will help you out in special circumstances. That's the DS5504. You should use the DS5504 to apply for your USA passport only if you fall into three categories. The first category of person has changed their name by marriage or court order, and their USA passport was issued less than 1 year ago. So if your passport was issued 2 years ago and you just changed your name, the DS5504 does not apply to you. You should get started on the DS5504 if you had identifying information in your most recent USA passport book or card printed incorrectly. So was your name misspelled? Did they get the date of birth wrong? Did they get the place of birth wrong? All of that can be corrected. And the third category is for those people who have limited passports. That is, their most recent US passport book was obtained at the full passport fee and limited to 2 years or less for a reason other than multiple losses or serious damage and mutilation of previous passports. If you have one of these limited passports, the DS5504 is for you. Next, let's check out the second most common application form, and that's the DS82. You should use the DS82 to apply for your USA passport under three circumstances. Number one, you're already a US passport holder. Number two, you're renewing a currently or recently expired US passport book and or card. And number three, you want to apply for your US passport by mail. But stop, there are multiple ways to apply for a USA passport, and if you're going to use the DS82, you have to say yes to all 8 of these questions. Number one, can I submit my most recent passport book and or card with this application? Number two, is my passport in my possession without being reported lost or stolen? Number three, was my passport issued when I was at least 16 years old? Number four, was my passport issued within the last 15 years? Number five, is my passport undamaged outside of like normal wear and tear? Number six, was my passport issued with the normal 10-year validity period? Number seven, has my name remained the same since the last time I got my passport? And number eight is actually a caveat to number seven. If your name has changed, can you provide legal evidence of that change? Finally, let's run through the most common application form used to get a USA passport, and that's the DS11. You should use the DS11 to apply for your USA passport if you fall under 5 specific circumstances. Number one, if you've never applied for a passport ever in your life, if this is your very first time applying for a USA passport, you definitely have to use the DS11. Another circumstance in which you need the DS11 is if you are applying for a passport for another time, except you are under 16 years old. If you're 16 or 17, you can apply by yourself, but you still need to have at least your parents or guardians' permission to do so. Now, if you are in one of those categories or you're applying for a child and you need more information, I've actually made another video about that. Make sure you check that out. So the third category of person that needs to use the DS11 to apply for their USA passport is the person who is trying to renew a passport, but their previous passport was issued before they were 16 years old. The fourth category of person that needs to use the DS11 for their USA passport application is the person who's trying to renew a passport that is more than 15 years old. So check out your previous passport. If the expiration date is 15 years ago or older, then yes, you have to use the DS11. The fifth category of person who will have to use the DS11 is the person who's already reported their passport lost, stolen, or damaged, and they're also going to need to file form DS64. And if you're still unsure what passport application form you should be using, just comment down below and I will do my best to help you. And until then, if you know what form you're going to be using, just click on the relevant video for instructions and help from yours truly.